Welcome to A Corporate Tom and Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
What's been going on, quickly, what's been going on with your show? Anything cool? Anything that we need to tell the fine folks about?
Well, at this point, I
Don't you have
already
an amendment?
celebrated 6 years.
Oh,
so
yeah.
6 years!
You know what? It was so great. We had such a good time,
Yeah.
and the hundreds of people that were there, thousands even. It was amazing. I'm an idiot.
So let's do some voicemail email.
Sure. Voicemails are easy to do. Call this number, 1-844-TOMNDAN. That's Tom and Dan, the letter N. Tom in Dan. If you call that, 1-844, you can leave a message or get our app. That's the easier way. There's a little button inside of our app that says mediocre messages. If you hold it down, continue holding down and speak into your phone, you can leave a voicemail message much like this one right here.
Yo, BDM Neil here. So, Daniel, I hear you got from the BDM show, the newest one this week. You got Hogwarts, whatever, whatever the game is, Legacy or whatever. I forgot what they call it, but whatever. Bro, is it good, bro?
Yes, it's good. The Hogwarts Legacy video game. I'm on it. I'm playing it. A lot of my friends are playing it. I got my friend the Aiellos. Summer's playing it. And my character, me and Maisie are beefing him up pretty good. Me and May were running around the castle last night.
Is it like Grand Theft Auto? Like it's just open source world?
Yeah, it is like that. But it's very much like, I compare it very much to like a Witcher. I compare it very much to like a Assassin's Creed style game. I'll compare it a little bit to that new Disney Kingdoms or Dream Valley. Like you go around and you solve tasks. Here's where it excels for me. I get the fun of like a Witcher game solving tiny tasks, right? I'm one of those people that gets pleasure out of the side quests,
Yeah.
Like, hey, you got to go collect the corn and take it to the farmer. I like that kind of stuff. Because I'm just checking things on a list. There's something very pleasing to my anxiety about, let's check this list off. And when I get the list done, there's some sort of order in my mind.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I get like some sort of thing out of it. It's very much like those type of games. So you run around, you take, you got to go take the cabbages to Professor Garlic.
Okay.
Because she's the herbology professor. You got to get the cabbages. You take those to Professor Fig. Professor Fig found he found a little module when you were flying in the carriage, and then the dragon ate the guy, and then you got to take the thing. It's all the little quests. You do all the quests.
Okay.
And you check them off. And the thing I like about it, though, is that Maisie can watch all of it. There's no blood, really, not yet. There's no
Harry Potter.
There's no boobies out. There's no thongers.
Yeah.
There's no succubus. There's no harsh language. There's no Call of Duty. You blew the terrorist's head off.
Yeah.
It's literally Harry Potter. So it gives me the same vibes of like those type of games, but I can play it whenever I want to. And we've been sort of playing it together.
Is it the world online? Kind of like a Fortnite where you log on and you're in a world that's... infinite,
you're not playing with other people yet. I don't know if that's something they'll open up. Right now, it's just me as one character. I'm myself, Dan Dennis. And
they call that a closed world, right? This
one's an open world. It's just you're not an open world online.
Okay,
it's an open world. Like you can go all over the place. In fact, they show you different areas of fog. There's fog covering different areas, I guess, as the game unfolds and as I get better. I'm the king, though, the way that I play, and this is to open it up to the listeners, and you can tell me how you play, but this is the way I play. I'm real big on, if I've got, like, main quests to get to, I look at the number of, like, they say, you got to be a level 3 to do this quest we recommend. I like to be way ahead. So I go around and I do all the little things to prepare myself, so when I do a level 3 quest, I'm already like a level 12. So it's the easiest thing in the world. I go around and I do all the boring stuff to prepare myself. Maybe that's like how I am in life. Or I know it's how my wife is in life. But like maybe, I don't know. It's just the way I attack it. It's like if the side quest to boost your powers, I'll go do all of those and make my guy super powerful. Then I'll go back to the main quest. That way they're pieces of cake and there's no way I'll fail.
Okay.
Like I kind of make it foolproof. Anyway, yes, I like the game so far. Very, very good. 4 stars so far.
How is there any beating it? Is there
don't know yet, I guess. I'm only, I think as of this morning it said I'm like 7%.
It's probably like completing like all the tasks or something.
It's neat though. It's really, really neat. And the weird thing about it, Andrea's like, why do you like this? And I go, I don't know. I think it's just really well done. And I think that this game is backwards engineering me into the movies. Like, I've always kind of hated on Harry Potter. I've always like, nerds, scarves, robes, is stupid. But the game is kind of making me want to dig through it because it's so rich in folklore There's so many like legends and so many like as you go around, you see all these icons, and you kind of got to take a picture of them, you know?
Okay.
And it's part of your quest. But I'm starting to see all this Harry Potter like history kind of unfold in front of me, and it makes me want to watch the movies. It makes me want to read the books because I'm like, well, I don't understand all this stuff. It's really cool. I kind of get the gist. I just don't fully understand the folklore. So that would be the next thing. And Maisie's kind of getting into it. So I'm thinking we're going to go the Harry Potter movie route. Thinking it's going to dip our toe in there.
Yeah, I mean, what is there, 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We did one of them, but that's all we've gotten.
I powered
so
through
far.
like a year or two ago.
I will say that the opening scene, and I don't think this spoils anything because I think it's in the trailer, but it is a little aggressive. You know, there's no blood and gore, but they still go with the concept of people dying and people getting hurt.
Yeah.
You're flying in this carriage, right? And you're trying to go to Hogwarts. And you're talking to this main dude, you know, and again, I don't think this is a spoiler because it happens in the very beginning of the game. It's not like it sets you on the path, right? Mm-hmm. It's a pivotal moment. You're kind of flying along in this like horseless carriage and they're flying you to Hogwarts and you look out your window and you see like a dragon or something. You're like, holy crap, there's a dragon down there. And it's a beautiful game. And then all of a sudden, the dragon bites a carriage in half and the guy you're talking to, I think you know what happened to. So Maisie got to see that. And she's like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, I think he's dead. Like, there's no blood, but, I mean, you watched...
implied death.
Yeah, and they address it later. They're like, I got to write to the castle to talk about, you know, this dude.
I mean, there's some dark imagery.
Yeah,
there
it's pretty dark, but at least it's not, you know, somebody's head exploding.
Not gory,
yeah, it's not gory. There's no cursing. Yeah. Although one kid last night said, he's a sneaky bastard, isn't he? And Maisie's like...
Oh man, Tommy is.
He's curse crazy. Yeah,
he wrote this.
Did he write a manifesto?
No, it was a book. I've been telling Tommy like.
Did he write a dirty joke book?
And I'm like, we got to figure out what you're good at, and
God
then so you
damn.
can
So
focus.
much pressure. Leave him alone.
No.
You're not good at nothing. We got to figure this out.
No. I tell both my sons, I'm like, it'll be an advantage to you if you find out what you know is. What you and your brain can do well that others can't, or you have some sort of like advantage in society, or
everybody
over
has
other
a
people.
talent. Everybody does. Yeah.
Finding your talent, right?
Yep.
And then
and your joy. I mean, they can be different things. They can be the same thing.
Yeah. We skipped the joy part.
Well, you're not a joy guy. You're not going to go joy. It's talent first, joy second.
So he has this crazy ability to daydream and then get up in his own head and just be entertained by that. So it means he has a good imagination.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
I knew this guy when I was little.
Not everybody has that. So I'm like, maybe you work on that and figuring out what that is. And then I started telling him, like, you know, there's money to be made and a career to be made in writing stories or putting together stories and being creative, right? Lots of money. And you can do that for a living. And if you're good at it and you like doing it, maybe you wouldn't like to do this for a living, you know?
So you're basically telling him to be Chat GPT.
So what's this book about?
So then he started writing a book.
I hope it's a romance novel.
And by book, I mean, like, it was just like pictures with
comic book.
like a comic book, right? With, like,
you don't even know what a comic book is? You're like, my book, I mean, it was drawings with word bubbles.
He's not, it's like he's putting together like comic
like a
book.
storyboard almost.
Yes, Where it's
That's cool. What's wrong with this?
Nothing.
Okay.
I like it.
Hey, this sounds awesome.
But this is what I'm about to get to because so he puts together the book. It's called From Heaven to Heck, and we came up with that one night because he's like, I have this book, this idea about gods and demons, and they're fighting.
Wow.
All right.
But it's a comedy, and then
it's a comedy. Oh my God! Hold on a second.
I'm in.
Hold on a second. That's that one Kevin
Brooks.
Smith. That's that Kevin Smith movie about religion with
Dogma.
Dogma. Your son is writing his Dogma.
And so I don't know if it's real.
Is Chris Rock in this movie?
It's more.
I mean, this book.
So anyway, then we came up with
He's demons fighting gods.
Heaven
This is
to
awesome.
Heck, and then I was like, oh, that's a good. So he writes.
Oh my God! Is this? Are you sure that Maisie isn't yours and Tommy's not mine? Because I would love to write Heaven to Heck.
And I started going through it. I'm like, oh, because he finished it or whatever. So me and Crystal started
He's already
going through
working
it.
part 2.
and it is F word crazy. Like the whole thing,
What?
curse crazy.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, like the one dragon's like F you.
This is great.
You guys are the ones saying he's cursing all the time.
And then so we were looking. So we're laughing at
You got to tighten it up.
it. So then I'm like, now we tell
Is
him.
the dragon played by Snoop Dogg?
Oh my god, I love this.
And then I'm kind of like, well, I don't want to tell
freedom
him.
of speech,
He's
baby.
a modern day
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino.
Well,
man.
because it's creative, I don't want to say like, "Oh, you can't write
Yeah,
this."
don't censor him.
Yeah. I don't because I don't want to do that. But I also,
what is he going to go to school and start writing the F word dragon?
no.
stuff? I mean,
Well,
does he know where?
he
to
knows?
Do it? Okay.
Yeah, he knows, and so that's what we tell him. We
I
talk to
would be
him.
shocked if Maisie started writing an F word dragon. I'd be like, whoa, where's this coming from?
He loves curse words. He says it all like doesn't
God,
he
what
asks
is that?
permission all the time. He's like, "Can I curse right now?" And we're like, "No." But
Maisie,
he wants to.
If I
Oh,
curse in
man.
front of Maisie, she is angry at me. What is that?
Well, that's her parents' genetics. He's, the nerd.
That's
genetics.
just
they
nuts,
follow the
man.
rules.
Yeah, I
you
guess
know?
so. It's crazy.
Tommy has that. Even though he's a rules follower, he's never gotten into trouble.
Well, he asked for permission, so that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. So
And that means it's on his mind all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's an
You
addict.
know, like, yeah, he's addicted to cursing.
Yeah.
God
So
damn.
and then it's in his books. And the books.
You got to bring this book in.
I'll show it. Yeah.
No,
I'll-
no. Did
I'll
he
bring
draw
it
the
in.
dragon? Is the dragon
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
F you? And what is the?
Yeah.
Who's
Is it a good story?
Who's the dragon
No.
yelling at?
I mean,
Maybe work on the
that's-
story
well,
more and
that's
less
He
subjective.
just wants to write
You
that.
want some substance in there. You want a story. It's not just an outlet to curse.
Well, that is
Or you
subjective.
think he's doing that? Is he using it as an outlet to curse because
Right, because he can't say
You're
it.
saying
don't know.
you're saying he's asking to curse all the time, and you're saying no, and
Yeah.
then you said like you can write whatever you want to in your book. I'm not going to censor it, so he goes there and writes the F word in there.
Yeah, it's a
I think I solved
workaround.
it.
Well, I also tell them like you can curse all you want and you're like by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you know whatever you want. I'm just saying like you can't do it in front of adults or other kids or people.
Or maybe
because-
just let him know like not that it has nothing to do with doing it in front of people. It has everything to do with like the
His
cons
age
of-
and-
or no, or just like it's not proper. It's not. It's a powerful word that can mean mean things to people. You know.
I told them about this show. I was like, when me and Mr. Daniel, we started doing podcasting, we cursed a lot more, I think, at the beginning
Yeah, I
because
think
it
we
was
did.
new to us.
Yeah,
but then we
that's
realized, like, just by cursing more, it didn't necessarily make the show better.
No.
In fact, sometimes finding a creative way around cursing actually people find more funny because saying it kind of, you're just, it's very blunt and it's like, here's the F word.
Yeah.
Figuring ways around it.
That's great.
Is more creative anyway.
Maybe get in there as an editor and tighten it up a little bit. Like, we'll pull a couple F words out of here. Maybe change a little bit. Maybe do part 2. You know,
Maybe I should go over with him and be like, instead of the dragon saying "F you,"
Maybe he can say like, "Why are you here? How
I
dare
don't know.
you?"
I gotta read this before I can give a full review.
But then also it's like it's his. Like I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, it's his vision.
Go to like you said, Quentin Tarantino, and be like, they waste. Travolta stabs
Well,
the
no,
heroin addict in the heart. It's too much.
But what I'm saying is, I think I figured it out. I think he's doing it because obviously he wants to curse. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying he can write whatever he wants to in the book. I think it's a lot more simple than you're thinking.
Yeah.
It's not about censorship. It's just like, hey, I want to write this word that I know is naughty, and Dad said I could, so I'm going to write it in this book as much as I can because I can. That just makes sense to me.
But then I go and further explain like the difference between a book and a screenplay, and how and there's ways to write a screenplay, and there's ways to write a story, and there's like by the book ways like there's an arc.
well, tell him he can
there's
only use like
character
6 F
development.
words in there because you don't want to make it. You want to make it PG-13.
And he's like, I know all that. I'm like, God damn it!
And then
this
he's
is
like,
my
old
son."
man.
No, yeah.
And then
well,
he just draws a dragon and writes F you.
but he also you don't want to put in the work to study
Yeah.
how to correctly write a play or a story because he's my son and he's lazy at heart. like
Who's
his
the
old
main
man.
character in it? Did you is it established at all? Who wins?
Oh, spoilers.
I was more laughing at the F word. I don't know.
Okay.
He didn't read the whole
Did
thing.
it start with the F word?
It was just basically two dragons yelling at each other.
I saw these dragons yesterday on
and then I'm
I-4.
like, which one's the heaven one? Like it was confusing. Like,
Well, help him tighten it up. Be his
Yeah.
editor and say, like,
Yeah.
okay, we got some problems here, but we
I'm
can
like,
fix
I can understand the dragons from heck, but why is there another dragon from heaven? Like it should be an
No,
archangel
one
or something,
dragon.
or,
Okay, one dragon
old
is
man
from
with a
Angel,
beard.
and the other dragon is from Heck Fire, right? And,
Is it Angel Dragon?
And he could be an angel dragon. What are their names? They have like a Gabriel and Smokey.
No names, just
Okay.
a lot.
Well, help
There's
him
an
with
S
it.
word. There's some S words in there too.
I mean, maybe I think you need to worry about the. I think I figured it out. If
Yeah.
there's no story,
and middle finger. Oh, and then okay. Oh,
if
I
there's
forgot
no
about this part.
story and he's just got a piece of paper where he writes all of the bad things you don't allow him, then it's not a story. I think I figured it out. This is not a story. This is just your son doing what you've said he can't do on paper.
One page is a big mambo dragon, right? A huge whole page
Yeah.
dragon. And then right around its genital area, it just has the words no squares.
Dude, you got
It's like,
You gotta
okay.
tighten things up.
Some no squares in there. And then some more FU.
the dragon's double middle finger, double bird. This is not a story. You got it. You got to
Double bird,
You got to make.
FU, no squares.
I think I figured this out. This is
That's
not
the story.
This is not a book, and this is not what he's good at. He's good at cursing. Is that what he figured out? He's good at drawing dragons and double birds.
I'll bring you the book.
It's your passion.
I'll bring it to you. I'm gonna tell
You're not
Crystal.
letting your kids listen to that song, are you? The My No Square song?
I mean,
They don't. They let him do whatever.
no,
apparently.
it's on
These
YouTube.
kids, can I curse?
I don't know what the hell. I mean, they're just rocketing through video after video.
You
I'm
gotta
sure
go
they've
YouTube
run into.
Kids. No, you got to go
That's a,
YouTube Kids, man. Not YouTube. YouTube is bad. Regular
not good for
YouTube is
kids.
bad. It really is.
Well,
You got to do YouTube Kids.
Yeah. Well, we learned that, but there was too much. There was a good amount of time where they were on YouTube regular.
Well, you got to take it back away. You got to.
No, we did, but it could have gone back. It's hard to tell what's
It's
going
not.
on.
It says YouTube Kids at the top.
Yeah, no, I know, but they're in there. It's their YouTube time or whatever. I'm like,
I don't bother them during YouTube
I'm not
time.
gonna when I walk in there, start looking at everything. I just whatever, I mean, 10 years are gonna pass. They'll be adults. What else? What's gonna happen?
Maybe Tommy will end up
You'll be
designing
fine, right?
kinky clothing.
I would like Sam got through it. My sons will be fine. Look,
I don't think your kids are on the same caliber as I was as a kid.
No. But I'm saying like you.
Nobody was making me eggy sandwiches every morning or carrying me down to
My
breakfast.
dad
Well, that's what I'm
cooks for
saying.
me, and I curse as much as I want.
How much could a YouTube video affect them? Not that much.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Oh my god, that's it. Okay, I want to see. I definitely
Man.
want to see.
Yeah, bring that book in.
Yeah, bring the book in.
Oh.
Let's see what else we got here. Let's try. I think this is a good one.
Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. Do you guys feel that there is a socioeconomic classification of beach people, lake people, and river people? Beach people being the top and river people being the bottom?
Yes.
Does it go beach, lake, river, or does it go beach, river, lake?
No, beach, lake, river. River's the lowest.
I would argue lake is lowest, and here's why. And you guys can tell me I'm wrong, but here I'll give you my argument. Lake is wrong because you have to add in all of the people that don't effectively live on a lake. They live on a retention pond, but they call it a lake.
Oh, that's not a lake. That's a
Right.
retention
but
pond.
they
people.
still, those are still lake people. They call themselves lake people. Lake people still get them.
That's
Those are
under
posers,
river.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
You go.
I agree with you, but I
goes-
think lake people will argue.
Beach, lake, and the lake has to have at least one dock.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
On the lake, like it can't just be a tiny, then a river, then retention pond.
Okay.
And
God, almost everybody I knew I think everybody goes through this phase too when you're in your early 20s when you're thinking about you don't want to rent anymore. I don't know if that's a thing anymore, but it was for me. There was a time when you got to your 20s. For me, it was pretty early, but I think for most people, it's late 20s, right? And you're like, I don't want to rent anymore. I'm going to buy a house. And almost every single person I know knows at least one person that bought a house with a tiny retention pond in the back. And then you went over there to see their house and they talked about how they're on the water. 100% of people have done it.
Yeah.
It's a phase you go through when you're in your late 20s.
I've always, my mindset has always been, if I'm going to live on some body of water, I want to be able to travel far away on that water. Like, it be able to connect to something and I be able to go.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Somewhere, like,
What
if
are you
it's.
running away from?
So that's
No,
why
no,
you're anti-lake.
Well, not
Unless it's
necessarily.
a
yeah, you can
giant-
just go in a big circle.
Unless it's a giant lake,
if
like
you-
Lake Michigan or something.
No, if you're
or a
Lake
chain of lakes.
Lake Monroe or any of the
Monroe.
lakes on off the St. John's, you can get onto the St. John's and make your way out to the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and then out in
You
the
have an
ocean,
escape plan.
Well, just because you have
the
the
zombies come.
option
Yeah.
to travel is cooler than me than being like if you live on a lake and it's like closed, so you can't go anywhere. Like I feel like that will just get boring after a while and lose its luster. And you'll look at it. It'd be nice to look at, but it's like I'm tired of going around in the circle.
Yeah.
And I remember Jimmy when he bought his house on that lake or whatever. He was out there for the first year, like all the time in his boat. We were wakeboarding.
Then it became something he had to like. He was always managing the edges of it. It became a pain in the butt.
Well, then like no one wanted to. His kids didn't want to go skiing anymore because they got all done with it. then you don't use it.
Yeah,
and then you're like, well, I paid extra to use this thing, and I'm not using it anymore.
That's kind of like me and the scooter. I mean, every time I would walk by there and I would see the Vespa bag on top of it, it would anger me, right? And here's something that I love so much. I'm like, remember when me and you, then these pictures come on Time Hop of me and Andrea on our scooters with our helmets on. We're like riding all around. We're going to Johnny's and having a beer and then scooting up here to see these people. And I was like, God, where'd that go?
It makes me happy that you get tired of everything after a while.
He's really going for the awards this year.
Like my buddy the Wizard bought a house that's like 2 blocks from the beach,
and
we were all excited for him, and then we were like, "Whoa, you're gonna live by the beach or whatever."
Awesome.
And then now his kids hate going to the beach. He uses it as a punishment if they're not
get to the beach.
No, if they're like he's like, if you guys keep acting this way, I'll take you to the beach. They're like, no, please. Because they've lived there a year and a half and their kids hate the beach because they're lousy with the beach. They're like, we've been there too much.
Like these van adventures.
You can't get over stuff.
You guys are forcing your kids to do all the stuff they don't even like.
Yeah. Well, they
just want to write the F word on a Dragon comic
sometimes
book.
it's very simple. You just want to lay in your room and write the F word on a piece of notebook
exactly.
But why it makes me happy is like we all have this mindset of we have this fantasy of like living like on the beach or on
when
the
everybody
lake or
is
whatever.
knocked down a peg, and when you truly understand that nothing matters, there's some comfort in that.
Because
I do understand that.
Because you're like, well, maybe I'll never live on the beach, but I'll get tired of it
it's
eventually.
never that great.
Yeah.
No, I'm
like,
with you, dude.
eventually, you'll stop even looking. You'll probably go the whole day without even looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you live, like, the coolest house I've ever been to was my wife's cousin's wife's dad's house.
Jesus Christ.
I know it's a convoluted.
I can't follow you there.
Yeah,
But
it's hard.
It was down in off Melbourne Beach, and he had a beach house
telling me this,
where his backyard was literally
beach.
like you walk down to some steps and it's the beach.
Yeah,
and
I've never known anybody that had that.
And I
That's
walked
a different kind of rich.
and you walk out the back. Although it wasn't in like Melbourne, it wasn't a mansion or like a mega mansion. It was like
it's still super expensive, though.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, a huge. Although he's just waiting for it to be taken by the sea, and 50 feet of his yard
That's
have already been.
terrible way, man.
And this past
Imagine
hurricane
owning that. I would be.
took
I'd
away
party
like
in it all the time.
5-6 more feet of his yard.
Yeah.
So now, like each hurricane that comes, it degrades.
Does he
more.
have to work? Does he still work?
No, he's retired.
Yeah, I'd just stay in my house and party all the time and just enjoy it until it.
He also he can't like. There's no insurance, so
Yeah, you can't.
once a hurricane does take his entire property, which he thinks
that's
is
it.
inevitable, that's it. The house is gone.
Might as well stay in there, turn your music up.
Yeah, and then so he leaves for every hurricane and then comes back expecting for his entire house to be gone. Anyway, so there's goods and bads of living on the
That
beach.
might actually relax you.
But I imagine that certain days he probably never even looks at the ocean, right?
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Because he gets busy, and then you're like, you never looked outside because
true.
you get so used to you live there for 10 years, and
Somewhere in the world, there's a guy with a Lamborghini. He has not driven it for 100 days.
yeah.
And that's sad.
Roop sold his Lamborghini.
That's why he sold it. Yeah,
that's what
Oh,
happened.
by the way, on that, I know he didn't want to say the price of what he got, but it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. I found it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was lots,
Good for
dude.
him.
It was
those
great.
things, actually gain value.
Yeah, and his was in really nice shape.
Yeah.
I mean, and the color, and it was custom. Also owned by a baseball player at one point who played, I believe, for the Yankees. So that's where he got it from.
Yeah.
Pretty neat, right?
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We are smack dab in the middle of your voicemails and your emails. You got an email over there, Sam?
Sure. This one says, Tom never changes.
Oh, come on, guys. You're too mean to him. I'm not going to stand for this.
Re-listening to old AMT episodes, and while you guys were doing fishing for scumbags with a free mini bike, Tom coughs and coughs up something on his shirt and then rubbed it in.
Oh!
History repeats
Yeah,
itself.
he does that. Which is, okay, he has adopted this new...
It's very Fleming.
No
He's
one
adopted
changes.
this new style where he wears blue Ralph Lauren polo shoes with... What kind of socks you got on?
I don't even think he
don't
has
know.
socks.
Are you not wearing socks?
No,
And then-
this is my wife's socks.
Dingy
I don't have any-
gray.
Yeah, he wears
It
his
turns
wife
out I-
Lululemons.
I didn't have socks because I never wore shoes.
So you just wear your wife's socks?
So I have to steal.
You're wearing pantyhose.
I have to steal
You got a
Crystal socks.
pantyhose.
And they're too small.
Yeah, they're tiny little pantyhose socks.
Yeah.
You got those little ones that they give you at Foot Locker to try on the shoes?
And then every morning I'm like, God, I need to order socks.
Let me order you some socks today.
Hey,
I'll
Yeah,
do
that's
it
right.
right now on Amazon.
Yeah,
What
do
size
it.
you
What
wear?
kind do you want? Let's go. Let's order.
Yeah, what do you want? Ankle? You want? What do you
Telling
want?
you right
I don't
now.
know anything about
you
socks.
find a morning show somewhere in America that orders socks live on the air. We are the best in radio.
I've never ordered socks before.
What kind do you want? What kind of pile do you like?
Do you want
Much like
white,
carpet.
black? Do you
I-
care?
It's like carpet.
Don't care.
You need it. What kind of pile do you want? What kind of wicking? What kind of absorption do you want?
Don't care.
It's like underwear, dude. It's just like underwear.
What size shoe are you?
Your feet, your toes are the balls of your feet.
10.5.
All right.
Really
not-
just
that
10
makes
though. 10.5 on one foot, 9.5 on the other foot.
So you're gonna wear opposite
Wow,
socks?
you're a full inch?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a lot. That is a lot.
So
If I look at, like, when birds look down on you, you look like an R word, right? Like, because you have, like, it's like...
my shoes are the same, so you can't tell. But inside,
But I can tell. I'm surprised I've never seen that in flip-flops. Don't you have, like, 2 inches hanging off the back of your, like, left flop?
You can't really tell an inch.
Oh, I
No, I can tell.
Hey!
You know, just saying, like when you look down, it's about the same, and they're not side by side, so it's like no one could tell.
What about, do you want to go, like, a no-seam sock? Do you want to go a quarter?
Don't. Wow, what is that? Is that my
my phone?
Oh,
You're jamming in your pocket. All right.
what is that? Spotify?
Who is this? Oh, it's Jordan Foley. Why is he
He'll
playing?
be in tomorrow.
Yeah, that's weird. I was listening to him. Sorry about that.
So it doesn't matter what type of socks. I don't want anything tall, too hot. So
I like tall socks with shorts because there's a protection aspect. But with pants, I like a crew. Like, look what I got on today. I got a crew.
Oh, that's too big. No, then the back comes up all the way.
Well, that's because these two are
That
my
looks like
wife's
you're
socks.
a
These
hospital.
these are also my wife's socks.
They're like a hospital socks.
Yeah, I wear hospital socks.
I'm
The
going
ones
to
with
get
the
you
grippies.
these men's dry tech moisture control from Dickies.
Dickies.
All right. How much are those?
Working man wear those.
You
Those
get,
are callous fingers.
You can either get a 6-pack or a 12-pack. What do you want?
You need a 12-pack.
Can I get some where I single use and I just punt in the trash after?
Oh, like Michael Jordan after every game.
Yeah, because I feel like then I'm gonna start creating too many socks in the laundry, and then Crystal has a,
that
no
like-
big deal, but a problem with doing laundry in the house, and then it.
Well, if you're going to wear socks, you're going to have to do your own laundry probably. Because socks are a one-day use for me.
I use them multiple days because I don't have that many socks.
What?
So I take them off.
Do you wear underwear on multiple days? The
No.
socks are the underwear for your feet.
Yeah,
No,
dude, this is you're not doing yourself any favors trying to be
So
a
what have
legit
we learned?
businessman.
So what have we
You
learned
recycle your
in the
socks?
past 2
My
weeks?
feet
we've
don't have
learned-
doo-doo on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yours do.
No,
we have
it
learned
doesn't.
in the past 2 weeks that this man will smush a loogie into a sleeve.
And
then
reuse socks.
And he reuses socks, which I've never heard of anybody reusing socks.
No.
Well, I don't have any clean ones to wear, so then if I don't reuse them,
Clean
then,
them.
Then
Yeah,
the
you
next
gotta
day-
wash 'em.
Well, then I got to start up the laundry and the
Yeah.
whole thing. It's all you should see it in there.
I mean, I think they sell socks
in the
at
garage.
7-Eleven, just one wheel up there. My God, man.
well, that's what I want—a single day use sock, and then I just
A
use them.
disposable?
Yeah, and then throw them away.
That is
after.
so wasteful, dude.
But can't they make biodegradable socks that it's like
Why don't you just
they're
wrap
$1 a pair?
Why don't you just wrap your feet in computer paper with a rubber band and slide them into your shoes?
Well, that's not comfortable. Is there any option for some sort of biodegradable single day use sock that I could just throw in the trash?
You could
after?
do like a lot of little old ladies do at grooming parlors for dogs, and you could go to Joann Fabrics and buy one of the least popular types of fabric for cheap and then cut it into small bandanas for dogs. That's what they do. The ladies that groom, and you ever notice how a dog, when you get your dog groomed, he always leaves the groomer with a fresh bandana on, right?
Ah.
Well, the only way they can afford that is they buy bolts of cloth, like, at Joann, the ones that people don't
Cut
want.
triangle.
And they cut little triangles. So for you, why don't you buy a bolt of cloth and cut your own socks?
I don't need to save money per se.
Yeah, but if you're going to be disposing them, my point is, like, you really want to, you're going to tell your wife,
$1 a day?
your earth-loving wife, that you throw your socks away every day?
Well, what if the socks are made, or the first are biodegradable, so they don't cause any sort of problems?
Look up biodegradable one-use socks.
And then
I haven't found any one use, but I have found biodegradable and quote unquote sustainable economic socks.
okay, well, yeah,
I don't care about that. I just want to be able to throw it away.
I mean, you can throw it away. It's just
Yeah.
a waste of money.
That's fine. I'm good with wasting money.
How many pairs of socks do I
I mean,
think
any
I have?
sock you could throw away. Like what?
Yeah,
I
but
have tons of socks, dude.
if they don't say biodegradable on them, I feel bad adding to the landfill. I don't want to do that.
Well, you will be.
Well, huh?
Yeah, because Lord knows everything else you throw away.
Well, that I mean,
I think the socks are the least of your worries.
Yeah.
They're cotton.
yeah. That's a different story, But
Is it?
I mean, I could use less plastic. I get mad when I fill my trash up with plastic every week, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
I just get mad. I get mad at myself. I'm like, my God, I'm part
So
of the problem.
mad at this.
Well, I'm like,
Huh?
I'm part of the problem, but I'm not going to change.
Well, go inside and be more part of the problem.
Yeah. Because it's so hard for me to get beyond, like, once I'm dead, it's not going to.
I know. We're close.
I think
We're coming in.
Everybody thinks that way.
Let's try this one on the voicemail side of things.
Hey everyone, I have a hypothetical for you, and it's very hypothetical for Tom and Dan because they have kids, but Sam maybe not. So my wife and I have good incomes, and we could work anywhere in the country that has like any kind of population whatsoever. It's like just a couple of people, like one small hospital is all we need, and we can go anywhere in the country. Mind you, we're from Florida. I've lived a lot of other places, but from Florida, and so we're certainly not coming back there.
Why not?
But where would you go? Where would you want to try to... Oh, we currently live in Asheville, so, like, check that off. Where would you want to go live?
Interesting question, because if you have no kids and you can truly just go anywhere, and with the kids it creates problems with them going to school and having some stability and
Friends.
friends in the same places.
Yeah.
Like I could see now, it's not going to bother them that much. Like people have done it before, but truly without kids and you can live anywhere. My suggestion would be that you try different places for a couple years at a time.
I don't
right?
think I would stay put, honestly. Like, as little as I have traveled, I mean, I've traveled more than a lot of my friends. There are some friends of mine from DeLand who I know for a fact have traveled none. And that's really sad when you don't get to see anything, right?
Yeah.
I've got to do a decent amount. I'm very grateful for the amount of traveling I've done. But I think that Andrea and I, with no Maisie in the picture, let's say she's off at college or doing her thing, I wouldn't mind hopping around.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
you get a little bit. What's the
It's possible
amount
to do
of
that.
time to really experience like the culture of the city you're
Couple
living
months,
in?
maybe?
I want more than that. I feel like 2 years living somewhere. Plus, you can get that if you buy a house after 2 years, you can sell it and then not have to add that income from selling the house to your taxes or whatever. So it's like tax exempt after 2
Right.
years, and then it becomes long term residence or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like move every 2 years. Sell your house, move to another place. Hopefully your house will appreciate unless you fall into some weird recession year. But and then try out San Diego's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Expensive,
Asheville.
though.
It is expensive.
I'd love to hop around more frequently. I don't know if it would be
Colorado.
I was going to say Colorado.
I don't know if
not
I
Florida.
could, but I'd like to hop around more than a couple of years. I'd like to be every month a new place would be rad.
You should.
You RVing then, or how you going to?
I don't know.
Well, it's like I said. You could rent.
Airbnb, long-term rental of some sort.
You could rent, and every couple months would be fine too.
So you wouldn't have many possessions then.
No, it would be pretty lean. Like you got like
you could rent Airbnbs that are fully furnished and everything. VRBOs for months at a time.
because it'd be cool to go like it's cool to like go up the East Coast, and like stay in different states and different big cities.
Yeah, like
and then come across
for different seasons too.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be there when it's snow, blizzard,
Yeah.
crazy.
And then
following
shoot
the
across
weather.
the Midwest. Yeah, following the weather.
there's a
just
reason.
staying.
Yeah, there's a reason people do it when
Yeah.
they've got old and money and stuff. Like you follow
Sounds
the
fun.
You follow the nice weather, and then like geographic change too. It's like sometimes mountains, sometimes beach, sometimes the city. Right,
Yeah.
like living in the city is cool. Like
It is, especially when you've been in the woods and you're tired of it.
Big cities are awesome, like walking everywhere, having like walking
Public transportation.
There's a lot of cool cities in the world.
Museums and cool concerts, outdoor infrastructures.
That would be my only advantage, I would think, to winning the lottery long term, because I feel like if you won the lottery and then stayed in one place and just accumulated a ton of garbage, I think you'll get depressed after a while.
Yeah.
Like there's only so much stuff, like physical possessions
True.
you can buy before you're drowning in it, and then it's somehow depressing.
Even now, I look at some of the stuff I have and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
throwing out stuff like crazy.
And so it's like if money wasn't a thing, or like,
I'd travel crazy.
yeah, you just stay in different places, because you could hit you spend the rest of your life seeing the world that way, right? Because like you start naming different really cool places in Europe, and then around the world, and just staying there for 6 months or a year at a time. You spend your whole life doing that.
Yeah.
Although, would you feel like you want some sort of home base? Like, would you yearn for
The grass
like
is
a
always
community?
greener.
Yeah.
I believe that you will always yearn for that you do not have. But maybe you can do that. Like the perfect guys that I see are the rich ass guys that have the nice house. I'm not talking about mansions, but just a nice house somewhere, and that's their home base. And then they go all around doing different stuff. But when they get tired of doing all the stuff, they come home.
Yeah.
And they got a place that they can
you
go.
need one home base.
Yeah, you need one. Maybe that. Yeah, I think that's the key. And we got to get out of here.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do some voicemail.
Yeah,
email?
let's do emails.
Okay.
Let's start.
want? What
Let's
you
start
want?
with an email. I like emails. So
All right.
Paper.
We talked about Rotary clubs a little while ago.
Yeah.
It says, we moved to DeLand about 4 years ago, and my wife is originally from Miami and did not know anyone here. When she became a realtor, she decided to join Rotary, as we had some friends who were in it. It has been really good for her, not only for her business connections, but giving back and being involved in the community, and also just making new friends. There are all ages, professions, women and men, all colors of the rainbow.
Can you pause real quick? Is this my friend Andrew?
Yes.
I love this guy. He's great. I always laugh, though, when people say making new friends. I'm 46 years old. The term making new friends to me always makes me chuckle, because it's like something a Care Bear would say, right? Like, let's make new friends. Like, I'm 46 years old.
Yeah.
It's time for my friends to start
Babies
dying. My friends are getting
man.
cancers. My friends
Yeah,
are sick.
I've made enough.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's over.
Thank you.
It's over.
Maybe this is why men become grumpy old men. They don't have any
Yeah,
friends.
see, we hung out a lot. We did a 12-hour porch fest together. Now he
No
grumped me up.
friends.
Listen, my
he grumped
pop-up
me up
had
good.
no friends. he had his neighbor.
birds.
His neighbor that came over for beer 30 on a three-wheeler once a day. And then maybe the guy that he was friends with a mechanic.
Making new friends.
Would fix his three-wheelers and four-wheelers and
That was
my
more of a
stuff.
business
If you
thing.
rub my tummy, the star will shoot the rainbow of friendship into your eyes.
And
Sorry, Andrew. Can you
okay, sorry,
continue?
no.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a lot like Key Club in high school, minus any of the silly hazing and
I
less
was-
drinking, but still
I was in
plenty
Key-
of that also.
Yeah, he was in Key Club with me, Andrew.
There's nothing secretive or weird about it, and you can go to a couple of meetings with a friend, and there's no commitment to join. Any of you guys would probably enjoy it, and you never know what doors will open. I highly recommend Tom's wife join this or something similar. A great way to meet people as a realtor. You also meet a lot of people in the construction and home services community, and they become pretty loyal about trying to send business to each other whenever they can. So it's just marketing.
I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do this for us. I'm going to join the Rotary.
It's just
I'm going to
networking.
grow out my ear hairs. I'm going to join the Rotary. I'm going to up my sweater games. After Porch Fest, I got to start wearing tighter jeans and I got to wear fancy boots.
I'll ruin it for myself because I'm sure there's some sort of monthly fee involved for your.
You put it on auto pay.
Yeah. But I'll
put it on auto
I'll
pay.
start questioning what my fees are going to
Yeah.
and who's in charge of this operation.
Yeah, you find out one guy's been buying
Yeah.
whiskey from ABC's The Vault.
And then I'll start doing the count. I'll be like, wait a minute, there's like 200 people in this damn thing. We're paying $60 a month.
You guys are pocketing
yeah. Like, what are we doing here? Like, like this venue's free. Like, like you get catering from this guy's wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, where's that money going to? Bills,
Follow the money!
Yeah.
You're holding a dagger.
Yeah. What are we all doing? Who's getting rich off this?
You'd break it all up, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Prohibition is smashing the clubhouse.
I try to get...
start pushing over the American flag and the altar.
I try to get some people and try to solicit them over.
Start your own. This is how those white supremacist groups, they faction. They go to different factions. They break up. What are you doing,
I'm like, we'll do a better job of Rotaries. Join my Rotary.
Or Tom's Rotary.
And then
you don't want to do that. Biker gangs
we'll start
do this.
war.
Biker gangs do
We'll start
this.
war.
White supremacist groups do this. They all fight. They infight, and then they fractal out. Terrorist organizations do this.
I love war.
We're very grumpy. We did a 12-hour day together, and he grumped me up good. At one point, he was standing on me.
It was the most relaxing day I've had.
He was standing on me like a tiny step stool, and then we went inside and ate Wagyu burgers. And man, if you eat too many Wagyu burgers, you'll poop your pants.
See, I like doing hard work at first, and then enjoying the fruits of our labor after. Which
watching our banners fall down on people playing music.
They did fall down.
Yeah, we had one banner fall down on the guy from Fever Dreams. I am so sorry, Mr. Dreams.
But I will say,
he's so good. That guy from Fever Dreams, he's amazing.
It was nice being involved with a huge event like that, in which we didn't have to do any of the work except for
just watch talented people.
Yeah. Like once
that's pretty good.
Once it started, we didn't have to worry about where the acts were. Like the people at Porch Fest are good, man. They are organized as hell.
They got it all.
Yeah.
They would
congratulations.
Come around. They did this thing.
Help
Sam.
us.
Sam, they did this thing that we've never done.
Help us with our events.
It helps doing one event only a year, and then that's the only thing you focus on. That's probably how you become successful.
They did this thing that I've never heard of before that Tom and I were amazed. It's called rounding. Did you hear them say that? That we'll be rounding. And I'm like, what? I thought about it. No, they would all do shifts working, and they'd go around to each thing, making sure you have everything. So they were constantly checking to make sure that it worked. And I'm like, man, that's smart. We should do that at our event. And then I forgot about it.
That's too much. Like once it starts going, because what are you?
Because they look tired, and I didn't want to be tired.
If you show up and then like a band didn't show up, like what are you going to do about it? Like there's no way you're going to call them at the last.
You have to get up there and play.
Yeah.
Did you know that a lot of
we should have had a DJ in between bands.
We're going to have that next year.
Yeah.
I told Tom we should do lights, full stage, and just and then everybody else would be like, well, you just have like a venue. And I'm like, yes, we do. We have
we can get Orlando bands, have a PA and the whole thing, and lights and
I want it to be so loud that none of the other bands can hear themselves. Like all the other porches are shh.
Yeah, it's like, let's make this super corporate and F it out.
Yeah. Coca-Cola presents.
Let's take away the whole...
It's Budweiser's Porch Fest. Featuring Louis C.K. and Hoobastank. I don't know why those are the two people that popped into my brain. You got another... Oh, let's do a voicemail.
Sure.
Let's do a voicemail. Let's do this
But
one.
the answer is...
yes. Sorry. No, go ahead.
These kind of clubs, I mean, if you use them for what they're good at doing, which is like, networking...
Andrew's correct. I should join one of these. In fact,
You don't need to.
We were part of the Orlando Downtown Partnership.
That was a waste.
I think it might still be on auto pay.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I think it's $75 a month.
Our credit card's been stolen so many times. I've changed it once a month.
You know what's funny is the only time we didn't change it is when Butler left, and his is still active. And he's still on
He's on vacation right now.
He's still on my
your credit
Photoshop.
card.
He's still on my Photoshop. I went in this morning and took him off. Whew. That's been years. No, I'm kidding.
But if you don't utilize any of these things and go to the things and the events or whatever, then it's a waste. Like you have to be involved for it to be beneficial, right?
True.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. Let's try this one.
I've got to say that this last BDM show with the wives, and I don't know, the last one you guys did, it was it was pretty good. I liked that, dude. I liked that. I liked that format. I liked everything. It was just a good show. I guess that's all I want to say. I was just checking in to see if there was a new BDM show, but I guess I'll wait until later in the day. Yeah, that's all. That last show was pretty cool. Take it easy.
This came in this morning. He wanted
you.
the BDM show like immediately Monday morning. It's usually a little later in the afternoon.
Well, if you're not a BDM, then sign up and you can listen to that show at TomandDan.com.
It was a very good show.
You can get all the BDM shows through the app. Once you're a member, you just type your name and password, and then if you can't get them through the app, we are giving BDMs the RSS feed, so that you can get the show.
Hit me up, show at TomandDan.com. If you have any issues at all, I can walk you through it very, very easily. That was a lame one. Let's do this one.
Hello, Tom, Dan, and Sam. It's Canadian Josh. Coming to you from Pearson International Airport in Toronto, and wanted to talk to you guys about something I just discovered. When it comes to going number 2 at airports, it's horrible. Everybody hates to do it, but it has to be done. Anyway, today I discovered using the family restroom, where it's just a dedicated room, I guess for people with young kids to go change their baby's diapers and whatnot. But it was a much more enjoyable number 2 experience, not having to,
I don't
Don't go and blow up the family restroom. Some mom is having to change their kid's diaper in there, and Canadian Josh stressed out, horrible doo-doo.
I don't understand the problem that the masses, the vast majority of people in the world have with going number 2. You guys
people are animals.
But you guys are too particular about, like, nobody can go in porta potties, nobody can go in a bathroom. You've never just walked in, seen a toilet that's blown up, flushed it, wiped it down, and then sat down. Because look, at the end of the day, just be an adult, grow up. You gotta poop. Wipe the seat, flush it, get it so you can go and get the hell out of there, and don't be a child. I sat in the porta potty on our camping trip, and it was disgusting. And there was an old man and eating an orange, and there was orange peels everywhere, and somebody wrote, "I love Ryan" in front of me, and there's swastikas everywhere, because apparently Nazis only use porta potties with knives, and they carve swastikas everywhere. And I'm sitting in there, and I'll tell you something that's absolutely disgusting. My penis touched the inside of the porta potty.
We can't.
Well, you can cut that all out, but inside the hole.
No.
And you know what I did?
That's impossible.
I wiped. No, the edge. I wiped and I got out of there. You know what? I'm fine. I have no disease. I'm not. I don't have a problem. People are baby. You got to stop being babies. If you got to go number 2, just go and shut up about it.
Sometimes
I'm over it.
Sometime when we were coming back, I believe it was from Portland, and we stopped in a layover in Kansas City. I don't know if you remember this. Remember?
And that old man with the cowboy hat at the barbecue restaurant. Yes, I do remember.
And then we waited in line, and then there was one stall that was available, and it was a handicap stall. And then I went in there, and it wasn't even. You couldn't even fix it. It was so bad.
What do you mean?
Like
you can't describe it. You'll be doing a lot of editing.
It was.
I'm sorry about that.
They broke humanity. It broke his toilet. And then they just
it broke humanity.
And then they just decided to go anyway.
I saw that at Disney Springs once.
And
it was
like
the destruction of humanity.
I can't. There's no way I'm adding to that, and also I can't fix it.
You've never added to a destruction?
No, because
raise your hand if you've added to a destruction.
No.
I have. Because
if it's an emergency,
look. If I gotta go, I go.
It's never an emergency.
I've gone.
You can hold it. Like
that's what I tell you, and you said that's impossible.
No, with the
you mean
number one?
Two. Okay,
yeah. Number one, like I think I've damaged my bladder in some way. That
you're saying there's never any number 2 emergencies.
There is, yes, but
I think people overblow those. Man.
I haven't.
People, I can't hold it. Yes, you can. Shut up. You're being a child. Well, you can hold it.
You can get through the wave. The wave will eventually end, but it's coming soon.
People are so dramatic.
With all the short stories that we have, this is a hot take.
But that's coming from me, and I'm the most emotional person here. I'm telling you that right now. And I think
a lot of people poop their pants.
But people are babies about, and I'm like, come on, man.
I've been in emergency situations, but I haven't been in an emergency situation where I've come across a situation where I had to add to a broken toilet.
I like that you're just calling it broken now.
Well, it's a nice way of
because it was like the flushing mechanism didn't work anymore, or it, like it was
a scientist. He calls it a flushing mechanism.
It was destroyed, and then like people had added to it because I imagine that they could not hold it or whatever. Anyway, so when I saw that
you're on the big blind
in Kansas City, I was like, I'm not, because then there's a line, and I'm like, I can't hold up the line. It was just I'm getting out of here. I have to get out.
I'll give you one better. I've added to a broken. And then as I'm walking out, somebody else was trying to get in there, and they looked, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you added to the broken." I've actually had people judge me as I walk out of adding to the broken.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But I can do it anywhere.
The chat
and
is asking, didn't a bathroom full of poo make Crystal cry one time?
Oh yeah.
I can go anywhere.
That was at like a one of those truck stops on the side of the road.
Like
that have,
Lucky's or
they sell
Loves or-
oranges and stuff. It's a wooden.
Yeah.
It was that
citrus stands.
Yeah,
on
it
the
was
side.
like a citrus
world or whatever.
Because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
traps.
That was real bad. I mean, she cried. She went in there and cried. Like, it gets that bad.
I'm not. That's stuff. I'm unaffected by it. In fact, I'll have the opposite reaction where I'll walk in and it's so bad, I'll just start laughing because I'm like, "This is bad."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's funny to me. I don't know what it is, but if I gotta go, I can do it anywhere. I challenge anyone to give me a spot and say you can't do it there. I can.
You know, I'm all for some sort of pay for play restroom that they're everywhere around, and then you have to.
I'm surprised this hasn't happened already.
Like $5.
They have that in Mexico.
I know.
Otherwise, you're not using the bathroom.
No, I mean
they
like
have it
a
in
public
Europe, too.
restroom chain that's everywhere that makes top tier, beautiful, where you can get a glass of water and take a poo.
Yeah, but it's like
And they're clean all the time because they got robots or something, and they're making them nice as hell.
Like you
and you pay
Where the
for
hell
it.
are these at?
And you use
No,
your
I'm saying,
card. We're
Daniel-
making it up.
yeah, like
we're making it up.
I mean,
Okay.
You use a card to get in. You swipe.
Now, people have been using McDonald's for this for years, but
7-Eleven. My 7-Eleven
But
is the cleanest restroom.
but the McDonald's and also the employees there do not like that.
No,
And,
you shouldn't do that. You should buy a hamburger.
And it's getting few and far between where they don't have the employees anymore to clean this.
Buy an apple
Yeah,
pie.
it's
You
not
got to
gonna-
buy an apple pie.
But if you had specific, they should turn stores are becoming extinct, right? For the most part.
I mean, yeah, they're changing.
So
they're
there
changing.
are certain. I mean, think about all the gas stations in the future that we won't need because we have so many electric cars, right?
Sure.
So there's going to be a ton of
poor
gas
Buc-ee's.
stations.
They're going to go out of business.
Well, I feel
Buc-ee's
no,
will
they'll be
survive, but
fine.
I'm saying like a lot of these just random. I'm trying to think of somewhere that's like there's a lot of already built locations, like kind of like how Spirit Halloween like jumps in abandoned buildings,
Yeah.
when it's that time of year. So when inevitably we start having to use less and less gas stations, we should turn them into, or some big corporation should buy
Service station.
and then turn it into a
Convenience
nice
station.
bathroom that robots clean, right? Because you can't have humans. There's no one's
But
going to
then
do
people
that.
will start carving
Most of the
swastikas on
gas
the robots.
stations now
But-
turn into lechoneras. You
Yeah,
go in
yeah,
there for the
yeah.
old
Yeah,
lunch
yeah.
special.
But then you swipe your
Ooh, I
credit
like
card
that.
and you go into a clean, air-conditioned bathroom that's not horrible.
And it's just a bathroom.
Just a bathroom, and then you could use it, and it's got a lock on the door, and
You know
it's
where
just
I saw
nice.
the only time I saw something even remotely like this, and I don't know if it was a safety thing or what it was, but it was a bank. And the bank was in the bottom floor, and people would walk up, and no one could get in there, and they would take their bank card and put it on the sensor, and it would let them in. And there was an ATM and a little desk, and they could go in there and like get their money without being bothered, without having like homeless people walking around. And I was like, wow, that's
Okay.
some elitist safety stuff. I was like, look at that bank. I was like, that's a fancy bank. That's exactly what you need. Just they swipe,
or
they
you
get in.
Yeah, you become a member.
Yeah, you're a
and-
member.
and then there's and you could use it
Yeah.
your bathroom
and
as
there's
your membership.
cameras everywhere, like to make sure
Although,
you're
how many
safe.
times do you have to pull over and go number 2? I guess people that suffer from IBS.
I've never.
and stuff,
I have
like-
IBS. I've never done that.
Yeah.
I used to know
There's-
another guy with IBS. I don't know. There's varying degrees, and he'd
Yeah.
just be like, "Oh, like
Yeah.
anywhere, be anywhere," and he's like running.
All right, we will be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
So who's the Indian Crowmaster?
Wow, he's jumping right into it. So I'm on Reddit, and then the first video of the day I looked at, and I became obsessed with it, and it is the Indian Crow Man, and here he is in all of his glory. He does not look like a man of many powers, but he is. And this is the Indian Crow King. Watch this. Okay, so he's standing there, and he wiggles his fingers at the sky.
Okay, yeah. I see no crows in the sky.
No.
It's pretty good.
If there are any Indian curse words in here, I apologize.
I saw one.
Oh, there's water.
Hold on. Wait for it.
Oh, here come the crows.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, he stirred them up good. They're flying everywhere now.
Oh, he's giving them
attacking everybody.
Giving them a fourth blast. Give it a fifth time. Blast them again, Crow King. There he goes. I like how everybody's like, yeah! Yeah! We did it!
Weird.
How does he do it?
I mean, he sounds like a crow.
Look, he does more.
Although,
Shouldn't I be able to do that?
I don't know. That's pretty
Go out
good.
there in the
right
streets of Baldwin and try.
I will do that.
I mean,
I do a good crow.
He curated that.
It's pretty good.
That's a pretty good crow. But if you
Look,
get,
he took a bow. They're applauding
Test it out.
him.
Let's test this theory.
Yeah.
I think I can go in the streets of Baldwin and, well, we need to know who has the most crows in Florida. I need to go to a crow.
I've heard of the Castleberry Crows.
I got to go to a crow-rich environment.
so
This is my dream. My dream is to learn how to, well, other than a domesticated dog, I want to be able to communicate with the
Hold on.
animals, with the beasts.
hold on. Let's my new thing is figuring out if a video is real or fake.
Oh, you think this
That's
is
your new
Photoshop
thing?
crows? Photoshop crows?
It's
Crotoshop?
No.
Little Crotoshop.
Well, okay. I'm trying to think back. I'm like, I haven't seen someone like with their own voice verbally summon crows on the
I've
internet
never seen
before.
a person call a bird. Maybe a falcon.
I've seen people do it with duck calls and things
But
like
falcon,
that.
you just put your arm up, and the falcon's like, hell yeah, the
But that's
arm's
a
out. Here I go.
trained falcon. But I'm saying, like, he obviously, this is representing, he made that noise, and then all of a sudden, 300 crows flew out of the tree and started circling around his head,
Yeah.
right? So this claim is he called them, right? So
Yes, yeah.
let's determine if that's real. So let's search, can a man call a crow on Google? Let's
All
find
right,
out.
there you go. Should we do a chat GPT?
No, Sam, search, can a man, well, I want to see other videos.
Search, can a man be attracted to another man? And chat GPT.
Daniel, see on the videos if there are other people that can do this. Because this guy doesn't have a unique ability. There's lots of people that, I mean, Daniel, you can do it.
Here is a man in Seoul.
Okay.
Hold on, this is some TikTok or Reels. Yeah, this is some TikTok.
Okay.
Okay, I can't get that. That's the problem with TikTok.
Let's hear his squawk.
Okay, there's the aftermath.
Okay. It seemed like he was making a noise. Oh. No.
No, you stoop.
Yeah.
I hate this guy. I'm so mad at this guy.
So that's not
You're
real.
not the Crow King. You're not like the guy in India. The guy in India, he's got the juice, man. He did it, and then one came over to check it out, like a scout.
They're saying he's a famous Indian stuntman.
Well,
He has,
Wait a minute,
he has also lent his voice to characters like Donald Duck, Johnny Bravo, and a number of tunes for mobile companies.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, but
The Crow guy. The
This
Indian
crow,
guy.
the Indian Crow King.
Yeah.
He does voiceover work in India, and his voice is so good and so powerful that he's able to manipulate it enough to call actual Indian crows.
well, if
He does Donald Duck. He's big in the
He's
foul game.
Indian. He's Indian Donald
But
Duck.
lots of humans could do this, and that tells me that lots of humans have the ability to call crows. And if we don't see lots of videos online of humans calling crows, then I'm saying that guy's fake. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because he is not doing something that's so unique that only he and the entire humanity can do it. You can damn near closely do it, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I think my crow is pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it's a good crow.
So that tells me that if you go to somewhere where there's crows, you could call them. But I don't see this. This would be all over the internet of people calling crows all the time.
Why do people want to do that?
Well, why not? If you're just
people are
sitting at the park,
He is claiming. Okay, this is what one person said. One user wrote, "This is called unity. We humans need to learn from it. The reason why all crows came suddenly is they thought some crow was in danger and asking for help."
but why haven't we seen this? Why doesn't everybody at the park all of a sudden just start
Because
calling?
I think
crows?
you're a maniac if you were doing that at the park. Honestly.
You know how many people?
If I went
are
to the park and was
maniacs?
doing like a crow
Yeah.
voice, you'd be like maniac, or do you think I was like a larper or like?
You know how many crazy people I see at the park? They don't care what
I mean, it's
people
better
think.
than pooping in the park if I'm making
Like-
a crow noise.
Like kids would be doing this as a joke all the time. Like I'm going to call over a bunch of crows.
They're not skilled enough.
Is it possible for
I don't
his
know.
friends, because it's not the best video, is it possible for him to do the call, then meanwhile people are throwing down food or corn or something.
That's what I'm saying. Yes,
they all come
because
over.
I have seen tons of birds. If you throw food down in a park, they'll swarm. Right. So what I think is happening, and Daniel, this is fake. He didn't call the crows. A bunch of friends are throwing food down, and the crows come out because of that.
Also, there's studies saying carrion crows can differentiate between familiar and unfamiliar humans solely based on the sound of their voice.
Yeah, crows are super smart.
So they
super
they
smart.
have voice recognition. So who's to say that this guy hasn't built up a relationship with this murder of crows and they know his specific call?
Well, I found this lady on YouTube that'll give me crow calling basics.
Guys, I'm Season from Poe Movies. I'm your social media manager. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit today how to call crows. I've been doing it since July, and I had a couple people ask me how to do it. So when you're learning how to call a crow, the first thing you do...
You know a person that does a crow call has a nose ring. You know that. Because you got to be a little more open-minded to do this.
But when this lady does it, do a bunch of crows fly around like the Indian guy?
I don't think so.
If they don't, then that Indian guy's video's fake.
Well, what if he had more crows? Well, like if I have a dog treat and there's only one dog around and one dog comes over, okay. But if I have a dog treat and I'm in a dog-rich environment... You see what I'm saying?
But there's plenty of crow-rich environments. I'm saying other people would do it with their voice if they could, and I think it's there's a scam.
You're too all or nothing, man. You got to believe in humanity.
You start with almost like a hooing, like a sound that you would just make, almost like an owl would make, like whoo, whoo, whoo.
I can do that.
And then you bring in step 2, which is called the gurgle, and it's like you're trying to spit almost, as disgusting as that sounds, but that's the sound. It's like so it's like sound.
Oh, I've made that sound before.
Don't talk about it. But
are we still filming?
I think that the crow man,
You think
Indian crow
he's
man's fake.
All right,
he's
all
not
right.
actually calling
If
them.
you know any more information, if you dig anything up on the internet, show at TomandDan.com.
Yeah, I mean, there's classes on teaching you how to communicate with crows.
Yeah, but are there videos of other people doing what that guy's doing? If there's not, then it's fake. If there is hundreds of videos of other people doing it in the world, then it is real, or it's.
I don't think it has to be hundreds. You're
Or
saying
5.
You're saying that
If this guy can do it, other humans could do it and would have done it on the internet.
No, I don't believe that. No,
Wait, that's how the internet works.
No.
This guy's not unique.
I think it's possible to be unique. I still believe I think it's still possible to be able to do something that no one else can do.
That you can do what this guy's doing.
No, I can't. It has not been proven that I can do what this guy's doing. You're speaking. You're throwing so much misinformation out. It's so crazy how much misinformation you're allowed to throw out here. I don't know how to do that. If I go out there and do that right now, I can make a sound that's similar, but I may not be making the exact sound. I may not be making the exact reverberation. I may not be making the same pitch. I may not have the same amount of bass in my voice. I may not have a same amount of treble in my voice.
I don't think that guy's doing something so unique that only one human in the world could do it.
I just think we haven't found other people having crows land on them yet.
Well, no one landed on it. They just,
or around him. I mean.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. Come on, stop going with everything has to be. They did not land on him. You sound like Maisie, for Christ's sake. When I'm like,
that's what I want.
I'm like, it's 3:25 or 3:30. She's like, it's 3:25.
We're trying to find the truth.
Yeah, but
I found one video of a guy that's a hunter and he is calling crows.
Yeah.
Do they
Hunters
swirl?
have been doing.
Do they swirl around him?
No, there's not 100 swirly ones. But
Yeah.
again, maybe this guy knows where the crows hang out.
Well, everybody, the crows we're lousy with crows. There are crows everywhere. People will be doing this.
There's
in
no crows
Central
around
Park.
here.
In Central Park.
That's so much misinformation. There is literally no crows here. I could go outside right now. There's no crows to call it.
Well, there are crows around here. We just don't know where they are.
Right. Well, they're somewhere.
So
within the next 100 miles.
Yeah, they're in the trees somewhere. But all I'm saying is that this is how people get tricked on the internet. Is like this guy's claiming to call the crows, and really probably it's someone throwing food, and he's pretending to call the crows to make a viral video.
Crushing the crow dreams out of
Maybe
it.
they're not crows. Maybe they're blackbirds. People are saying the blackbirds aren't crows. I don't know anything about birds.
You know, like I know that hunters spend their whole lives buying the most fancy duck calls. In fact, Duck Dynasty made $1 billion selling stupid duck calls, and it's
so much money.
And it's hard as hell to even use duck calls.
So much money on those duck calls.
Ask a duck hunter. It's still difficult. Like you're not just calling them, and then infinite ducks come and you shoot them all. Like there's a skill to it, and it's difficult, right? It's not super easy. So that tells me that
can't find another video. You might be right.
The act of calling birds, because more people would do it. Like, some kid would learn how to call a crow, and then at recess, call a bunch of crows as a joke for his friends.
I would do that. Every recess. We got to get a hold of Jim Phillips and see if he used to have a crow call, and he was trying to get the crows to bring him trash, and then I think he gave up on it. Then the pandemic happened.
Like, I remember when we were in college, we went to Cocoa Beach, and I think it was the Wizard, I can't remember. One of my buddies got blacked out drunk and passed out on the beach. And then we threw a bunch of crumbs from a bag of chips that we had all over them, and the seagulls did descend upon us, and all the birds.
Did they land on him?
Oh, they were all over around him. We were laughing. It was pre-video camera phone, so we couldn't video it. But that is true. If you throw a bunch of crumbs on the floor at the beach or somewhere where there's a ton of birds, they will swarm around and they'll swarm at them. But
I have to go back
never
and
seen
watch
anybody call them.
More of this video. Now I love that. I feel like this man is a famous Indian stuntman is a lie now too. That's got to be a lie, right?
No, that could be true because he's trying to promote himself on social media. So he
lies about the crow thing.
Or that he got the most. I mean, how many views did that video get? Probably a lot.
Well, I couldn't tell on Reddit, but I'm saying
Well, this is a different video, but I think it's the same guy.
Is he in the same area?
Narayan. Do you have that guy's name now?
He didn't have a name in the video. It was just a random video.
Anyway, it's
fascinating to me.
That's the hard thing when you're watching any of these videos and it all doesn't even matter.
I guess just believe that everything's fake and you'll be all right.
No one even cares. You don't have to believe everything's fake. Just be skeptical about it. It's like, is this real? And then we kind of figured it out. It's probably improbable.
I mean, you think you figured it out. I don't think Sam and I agreed to what you were saying.
No, you agree, Sam?
I don't necessarily agree.
No, I don't think we necessarily agree. You always assume that everybody in the room disagrees because you push harder on your opinion. Because you're like, I'm gonna say that this is what I believe, and I'll die on it.
I'll bet that I'm right. I'll bet the listeners.
I don't know how to prove to you anything because anytime I bring you proof,
I'll buy it. $1,000 bet it's real.
Oh, well,
there. I'll do it.
Dude,
fine.
That's too much. You're betting too much. You don't know.
You're the Super Bowl squares of betting.
No, but it throws up. It destroys your whole system if I take too much money and do it. Because he says if you really believe it, you'll be willing to put a sizable amount of money on it.
Well, for $1,000,
yeah, I'll just do it. $1,000. Well, let's just do it.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get.
See, you won't
Andrew's
do it.
It's
breaking him down. He can't do it.
Well, first of all, because I like to bet, that's too much money to risk on something.
All right, $100 bet.
All right, deal.
$100 bet.
Deal. I'll prove by the end of the day that that's fake.
Well, we got other things we got to work on.
We don't have to do by the end of the day.
I think it's not that important.
I'll do it at night.
While your wife is crowing at you?
The irony of that.
I just need a solid hour to search on the internet to find out if there's any other people that I'll read some articles.
We've been doing that. We've done a solid 14 minutes on it.
No. But I'll deep dive and find out, and then come and present to you the case.
You're always going to skew it to your direction. You always do. Because you've already made up your mind that you know it's fake, and that you just have to prove it to us, and that's not fake.
No, if I find that it's real,
but you're not looking to find that it's real. You're looking.
Yeah. Well,
you see, there's a difference in how you're doing the way that you're doing your research.
I'm looking to find the truth. That's it.
No, you're not. You're looking to prove that you're right. Which is different than looking to find the truth.
Well, no. I think I could be subjective enough to look to find the truth. Because
we have a video of a man doing the crow thing, and the only proof that you have is there are no other videos.
Because
the lack of proof proves his point. Yeah.
Right. He's doing the same thing that when people fight on the internet, they do. They go, well, you have nothing, no other option, so it has to be fake. Because then because you're going on the assumption. Hold on. You say one thing that I hate. You say, and it's crazy. You say, because if it were so easy, other people would do it. not necessarily. People would have to want to do it. It's
Right.
not just,
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to go out in the middle of a field and start calling for crows.
It's not just knowing how to do it is easy, and then people go, oh, calling crows is easy. Let's all go copycat and do crows. It doesn't necessarily work. The math doesn't necessarily work out like that.
Well, I know
it can work out like that.
It's just that with the place that we're in now, where everybody's got a phone and a video camera, right? The whole world has one. How many people would you say have a smartphone in their hands in the world?
I agree with you.
500 million?
Yeah, or more.
So 500 million, or maybe even a billion. I would say even a billion. There's 14 billion people on planet Earth. More than a billion, right? So billions of people have a smartphone. So that's what I'm saying. Out of billions of people with smartphones able to videotape themselves and upload it on the internet, it's free, right? You could upload anything you want on YouTube or social media.
Yeah, but there's also trillions of videos on the internet.
Yeah. No, but so But
you got to sift through all the BS, and I also don't think that every single thing is videoed and put on the internet.
No, it isn't. But I'm saying that if humans had the ability, and I don't think this is unique to this guy, to call birds.
I'm going to see. I found the thread. I'm going to go through. I might be able to figure out the answer easier than you spending time on it.
Well, I'm thinking it out. If you could call some birds at a park, right? And crows aren't unique to India. I could understand if they were to India, then it would be a different story. But there's also billions of people in India, so more people would probably do this.
Oh God, the racist people in this thread are so
Oh,
great.
good.
But
he's saying bobs
internet.
and vagina.
Then,
pretty fun.
Like, more people would call birds over just to see them swarm around as a party trick if it was possible. And what I'm saying is most likely, or more likely, he pretended to do this so that we all watched, so that it would become a viral video.
Oh, no, I definitely believe that is possible. But I also like to leave, I mean, maybe this is just me being me. I also like to leave a little area open for it possibly being correct.
It could be. I'm just leaning way towards more that he used food or another trick to call the crows.
Also known as a record holder crow caller. This guy's legit, dude.
Don't say that. He'll never believe you, no matter what you say.
No,
he's never
that's
gonna
not
believe
true.
you.
I'll believe it. If it's real,
he'll never
I'm
give me
wrong.
$100. No,
I will
never.
give Daniel $100. I pay my bets.
I know you pay your bets. I'm just saying the whole idea of what's happening right now is that you already knew going into this bet that you're like, no, I'm never admitting that I'm wrong because I'm believing.
That's not true.
I think it also the fact that he is a voice artist, like that makes more sense that he can mimic a bird.
The Indian Donald Duck. I don't believe any of that.
Well, it's in Yahoo News. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying there's a lot of people that
think they'd vet it, right?
Voice,
but I don't know.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
There's a lot of people that have the same ability as this guy.
Well, now I want to know how to do it. If he can do it, and if what you're saying is correct, and it's easy, then I will try to figure out how to do it. I got to, because I think it's fun. Where's the area of Central Florida that has the most amount of crows?
I have no idea.
We got to find him.
We could find a bird expert. Man, we should do a day of the week that's dedicated to birds. Write that down.
When could we do it? We could do it like a Friday. Bird Friday.
Bird Friday. All right.
That's a Feathered Friday.
Feathered Friday. There it is. There it is.
Perfect.
But what I will say is that we could definitely have this guy do You're Listening to Tom and Dan and do the crow, and we could pay him $50. He'll do it.
I think our air is broken again. It's hot in here. You want to do a couple of voicemails?
Yeah.
All right. I took some of these this morning. Let's see what we got here. Here we go.
Oh my God, I'm listening to Monday's recording. Dan, don't change your phone number. Please don't do that. I was getting calls from U.S. Pharmacy for 4 solid years. Could not get them to stop, and they literally told me I will never stop calling you. The guy said that, so I changed my phone number. Now I'm getting all the scam calls from the other person because it turns out there are no new phone numbers. Don't do it.
Yeah, I guess he's now getting all the scam calls of the guy that had his number before. And then I was talking to Sam, and I'm like, well, I can't get a fresh number. And she's like, there are no more new numbers. And I'm like, I can't call AT&T and say, like, and they're like, what number would you like? And then I said, give me a new one. And they give me one. And then I go, hey, I just want to make sure before you give me that number and activate it that wasn't used by anybody else. I want a freshie. I want a fresh, brand new generated, never been used before phone number. Can you do that?
Well, there's a way to know how many combinations of 407 numbers there are with 7 numbers following that.
Yeah, but we have multiple area codes still around here, don't we? On some like legacy phones.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're just going, like, have all the 407 number combinations been given out? And I mean, it's got to be a gigantic number in the tens of millions or more. I have no idea, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but maybe they have no way of even knowing that. They probably have no way of knowing. I mean, it's the government or whatever the hell, who's in charge of phone numbers.
That immediately sounds like the most logical answer.
Give me Mr. Numbers.
Well, the reason that you get one that's recycled and you can never get a fresh one would make sense because no one has control over it. It's like literally, it's like there's just
it's an open source, right?
Yeah, the minute you're losing one, you're reassigning it, right? Losing and reassigning because people are dying, right?
Yeah.
So it's like cancel, reassign, cancel. It's constant.
People change, and then also there's databases of AT&T phone numbers, but there's also databases of T-Mobile. You know what I'm saying? And they don't share information, right?
Right.
There's not some universal database of all numbers, right?
I was always jealous of my friends that like worked at like T-Mobile or Sprint, and they would get like cool vanity numbers that had like sex or 69 in there. I was always jealous of that until I became an adult and realized that you don't want any of that stuff because then it makes you look really bad. You know, like when your email address is an adult, and if you have like a phone number that's like, like you would think differently of me if you and I were going into business.
But you wouldn't give me the mine of it's all right boobs.
No, but I would go if you and I are making a deal. Let's say I'm selling you 10,000 crows. I have an 18-wheeler full of crows. I'm selling it to you. We shake hands on it. You're paying me $10,000 for it, and you're like, oh, let me give you a number in case I have some questions about the crows later. And I go, it's 407-699-6969. You think I'm not professional.
Now, I'm a little biased because my house that I grew up in address was 6969, and
sounds fake.
Through my whole
when
we order pizza, I remember like my mom used to be like, "That is my real address." It's not
no, you may not. 69.
They think it's a Bart Simpson prank call or something. Like, so I have sympathy for people that actually may have a 6969 number, and then everybody thinks, but for the most part, it's some Kenny Powers that bought that, right? That's
it's
a
pretty
novelty.
damn good.
Right.
I mean, I knew guys that, you wanted I also had a light up antenna on my Nokia phone, and I may or may not have had a $100 bill faceplate that I put on it. Why not? That's what you did. You accessorized your phones. And I do miss that a little bit. You can put a case on your iPhone, but you don't get to snap on a faceplate and show that you have plastic $100 bills all over your Nokia phone with a light-up antenna that you could just turn it on to vibrate, and it would just light up 1 million candle power in your pocket.
I remember putting a bunch of stickers on my beeper.
That's pretty cool.
To decorate.
How big was your beeper?
It was like a pack of cigarettes.
Don't tell her. Hey, you're married lady.
There's a lot of tiny stickers over there.
It was like smaller than a pack of cigarettes, but it had like a clip that you slid it out.
Did you run your beeper in or out? Yeah, I know.
Oh, in my pocket.
Yeah, in your pocket.
In my Jinkos.
Yeah, because you run it on the outside, and it would knock it off or break the clip.
Yeah.
And you lose your beeper.
Yeah, but I would have the clip still on it and put it in my pocket.
Me too. Same way you do a pocket knife.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going back this year to the beeper. No more smartphone for me.
Okay.
Just the beeper. You guys need me? Just beep me. Boobs for Tom. No, boobs for Sam. And you beat me hell. You beat me hell, and I'll know when to call.
So what I wanted to talk about, I teased it the last time I was here, and this is true professional radio here, you tease it. I wanted to talk about failed promotional bits, and I teased the Cleveland Balloon Fest. It was known as Balloon Fest 86, and long story short of it is that they wanted to set a Guinness World Record by releasing like 1.5 million balloons in Cleveland, like in 1986. And the first video is more happy. You don't have to play the audio for it, but it's happy. It's like, oh, look, we're filling balloons. And they had like a net to hold it all in. And then it's going to be 1, 2, 3, let's let them go. And then, like a plume of balloons float in the air. And it was going to be a whole thing. Yeah, look at them. They're all having fun. They're filling up some balloons. Like there's families there. It's like a whole, ordeal. So they wanted to do it as to one, set a world record, and then, maybe raise money for charity because they were doing it's like,
oh my God, that's a lot of balloons.
Yeah. That looks like an alien station. Hold on.
1.5 million.
Yeah.
It's really cool looking.
I this is why I like the 80s, because no one ever in this whole promotion
What
said,
about
like,
the animals?
or just said, hey,
This could be a problem.
We're just littering in the sky. We're just releasing millions
Plastic.
of rubber balloons into the sky and then saying, like, see you later. Like, this will eventually
Not
litter.
my problem.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
looks
It's like
pretty.
throwing your beer bottles in the ocean.
Yeah, so and you can fast forward again. Look how many people there are out there. They're
Dude,
like,
that is so
they're
cool.
participating.
You
it's
know,
whatever.
we need to start doing stuff like this again because this is
can't.
way more impressive
Yeah.
than any animal I've
and they
ever
have a
seen.
giant net to kind of hold it all in, so that way they can do the 1, 2, 3
Oh,
go.
there's
Like,
a
look,
granny's dancing.
Yeah, look at how they have
Oh, my
so
God,
they release
it's
it. They release it in the sky. It's like a plume of.
Dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It's so much better than animals.
Well, so it backfired severely for exactly what Tom was talking about, where you are just littering in the sky. So the second video, you can't play the audio. The guy describes the horrors that came from it.
What's up with this music?
It's the 80s. This is our childhood.
Kenny, I've given you a lot of compliments, and you already know I love you, but this is the greatest gift you've ever brought to the show. This is fantastic.
These morons raised us. They're like, let's just release the balloons from
So-
the sky.
Do I start from where you...
Yeah, this is a news report.
Who could have ever foreseen this being a problem? Like, I feel like it's so blatantly obvious that you shouldn't do this, that everybody...
But did you see that dancing granny? Did you see how happy she was?
No one said, hey, where are these going to land? There's a lot of trash we just released into the sky. This is going to be a problem. No one
It's
said
the
that?
same thing that
No
I don't.
one.
It's the same thing I don't think about when I'm pouring motor oil on a plant. You know, I'm just like, where does it go? Nobody knows. Would
Yeah,
you like
well,
let's see.
yeah,
this
let's
one?
listen to what happens.
This is from the news report. Thank you.
Down. Those balloons, all 1.5 million of them, came down all over the place and caused an absolute mess. Beyond the mess, the balloons caused a runway to shut down at the local airport. Balloons landed in a pasture in nearby Medina, Ohio, and caused permanent damage to one woman's prized Arabian horses. So many balloons covered up the surface of Lake Erie that the Coast Guard had to call off a search and rescue mission for 2 fishermen who had been reported missing earlier in the day. They couldn't see through the blanket of balloons to make any attempt at finding the missing men. Days later, the fishermen's bodies washed ashore. The wife of one of the fishermen sued the United Way of Cleveland and the company that organized Balloon Fest for $3.2 million. She later settled on undisclosed terms. In the end,
So hold on a
Balloon Fest did
second.
more-
I don't. How do you prove that these balloons killed the? Nah, you don't think you can prove that?
Well, they couldn't. They're like, there's balloons everywhere. I can't
Well,
see anywhere.
that's just luck.
It
That's
all
just-
looks like heads.
Yeah,
And they're all multicolored, so like if the fishermen were wearing any color, you don't know if that was them or
Hey,
the balloons.
joke's on you, dumb fisherman. The balloons are floating. Grab onto them and you won't die.
Could you imagine the environmental disaster like it just caused in the lake? Like all those balloons, they get turned in, like they popped eventually, and that rubber fish ate them, killed so many.
Oh,
fish.
yeah. So many fish. And then other things eat the fish, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
cycle just continues.
But I love the fact it shut down one of the runways at the airport. The planes were like, well, we can't do anything because we can't fly. There's balloons everywhere.
So okay, let's talk about how this happens because
I mean, Tom and Dan Balloon Fest.
So I
24.
I understand
2024.
that someone just comes up with a marketing idea and then sells it and everybody's like, yay! But then,
yay, hooray!
That is actual audio from the meeting.
And then, but they start. It took them days and days to fill these balloons, right? During the filling process, when people start seeing the scope of this, right, and the
You
net,
look like a spaceship.
like no one, like no adult anywhere around the city.
They did what
when
you
it
do.
come-
They're like, it'll be fine.
Like,
It'll be
like,
fine. The same
hey.
thing you told me when I said, hey, one of these wrestlers has sexual abuse charges. You're like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just don't, if you don't talk about it.
They mentioned the lady suing.
I'm like, all right, I got to decide the
For
way.
that reason, releasing millions of them into the city.
Well, they mentioned one of the ladies suing the United Way, and the reason is the United Way is like, we'll stick our name to this. Let's do it, make it a charity thing. And the United Way presents Balloon Fest 86.
Yeah, like it's someone.
Don't take out the. First of all, I think the lawsuit is unwarranted because if they put their name on it, they didn't. They were trying to kill the fishermen. Or anything. You know what I mean? Like I think that's screwed up.
Also,
that doesn't help the charity at all.
It for sure did way more damage than just cause some Arabian horse to get sick. Like For sure.
My Arabian horse has diarrhea.
Thousands of animals ate these things and died, right? Thousands.
Somebody in the chat room said they thought it killed 87 whales. I was like, 87? Where do you get that number? Where do you get that number?
They wash up on shore.
No, but my point is, like, 87 whales.
That immediately reminds me of when that whale washed ashore and it was too big.
With dynamite.
So they blew it up with dynamite and then flaming whale blubber just raining over the city.
So, like, this makes sense if this is like the Middle Ages. They have no idea what's going on. They think magic is real. You know, this is 1987.
Well, after seeing
Daniel was 13 years old. He's already started hammer-handing.
I would have been down there blowing up balloons like a madman. He looked like a spaceship.
Daniel was older than Tommy is right now.
Yeah, I was.
And so it's like, it ain't that long ago for no one to bring up the fact, like, hey, all these things are going to litter the landscape with trash. How did someone not realize that? They must. Did they? Was it biodegradable balloons?
Well, is there such a thing as a biodegradable balloon?
Yeah, now they make them now, but maybe not in the 80s.
No, dude, people didn't care about the environment in the 80s.
You know why we wouldn't do this now?
They said we're 30 years old.
The price of helium is too high to do this now. There's no way people would do this now.
That's why there's a shortage, the balloon fest.
Probably. Not even caring for the environment, but just even the impact of, hey, where are these going to go? Like, they didn't even, like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, these will
maybe
land.
it was, let's find out.
That's true.
You know?
But also, anybody with 2 brain cells could think, well, we can kind of predict where they'll go because the wind is blowing that way.
I think they're heading towards the Arabian horses.
So they're going to go west,
Yeah.
and they're just going to litter all of west of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it takes a genius to figure that out. It's like we will release these, they will get into the wind stream, and then they'll be carried west, and then just fall down all over the place west of us.
Here's some info from the actual YouTube video that Kenny linked to me. It says, what makes this even more of a true Cleveland story is that it was supposed to break the world record for most simultaneous balloons launched at the same time. But the Guinness Book of World Records didn't recognize the event, so it didn't count at all.
You know what?
Nothing.
Well, they were actually trying to beat the world record that was previously held by Disneyland because they released 1 million balloons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder how that was 1 million balloons in Disneyland must have been environmental disaster as well, right?
You would think
yeah, but
so.
Disney's got enough money to like.
They covered up all the horses.
Let's tuck those stories away. Yeah.
Although, okay, so I get that you don't want to do like 1,000,001 because someone can easily then, well, not really easily. Yeah, why didn't you just do 1,000,001? Now that I'm talking it out, just like why add the extra 5?
They actually were going to try and do 2 million, and they were like, "Nah, we'll just do 1.5."
Oh yeah, they couldn't get enough
You
volunteers.
could do 1 million,
Or
and
maybe
like
they started thinking about it. They're like, "Oh my god, this is a bad idea."
You know what? I'm really starting to not like Cleveland, and I apologize for everybody who lives there, but I think Cleveland sucks.
because Cleveland is awful.
Didn't they also do like they were infamous for the beer night, the free beer night?
That was Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Same
Yeah.
thing.
So yeah,
Cleveland,
It's
Chicago.
all up there.
Yeah. I heard someone say
Bunch
this
of
before.
fools.
They're
But
all
that
assholes.
one, it was
right?
like they did Nickel Beer Night, and then immediately after they did like Disco Demolition like rally, and then that's like they ended up setting everything on fire.
I like a good riot though. I love a good balloon riot.
Yeah, well, that I can get because you didn't foresee. I mean, yeah, you get
Yeah,
a
you
bunch of
kinda
people
did.
drunk, but
Who's doing security? The Hells Angels have it covered, sir. All right, well, we're good.
Now that is, bad planning, but still, this is you could plan exactly what's going to happen. It was never going to be fine. Like all the balloons weren't just going to disappear.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think they
gonna
got that
fall.
far. I think they got that far. I think they just like 2 million balloons. All right.
No one said what is going to happen with them.
No. This is a Drunky the Bear jumps Gravedigger scenario. Nobody cared. Nobody got to the
That's what I'm
fourth
telling
step.
you, man.
Let me say this
He
to
doesn't
crap on.
believe that people get there to the fourth step, which is thinking of nothing, but they do every time. The fourth step, nothing is there.
How can you think of nothing?
To crap on Cleveland even more, I know there was a thread on like the BDM page about why they have to remove the caps on beers at bottles at arenas, and Cleveland was infamous for hurling glass bottles like that were full onto the field because they were upset at a missed call or whatever. So they ended up showering the football field with a bunch of beer bottles and pelting the referees and the opposing players.
You know
and
what I
stuff.
like about Cleveland football, though, is that that it took me years and years and years to finally discover that their true mascot is a tiny little disgusting elf.
And it's like Brownie the elf.
Yeah, Brownie the elf, which is really just a turd.
Listen to this from the LA Times from 1985 about the Disneyland balloon release. It says, if all goes according to schedule, 1,209,600 brightly colored 9-inch balloons will rise into the sky above Anaheim this afternoon. A tribute to Walt Disney and Disneyland by the community of Anaheim on the 30th anniversary of the happiest place on earth, this helium-filled flock will undoubtedly be a sight to make the spirits soar. Some people are wondering, however, what will happen when what went up comes down. Even as the evening news is replaying what's billed as the biggest balloon launch in history, might not be some unsuspecting local downwind of the Magic Kingdom find itself pelted by a gaily colored rain of latex. Quote, it's kind of a shame someone's always looking for the negative angle.
Yeah,
says the supervisor of publicity at Disneyland.
Yeah, I agree with that. We're doing something good for you guys. Are releasing these balloons, and all you can talk about the goddamn whales and Arabian horses.
Yeah, but if you took...
No environmental groups have contacted Disneyland with concerns about any potential litter problem, Flores said. And besides, he explained, the balloons being used are natural latex. They're 100% biodegradable.
Smoking is good for you. It helps you digest.
They were projected to land somewhere over the Mojave Desert.
If you went to the desert and just took all those balloons unfilled and just started throwing them in the desert, like people are like, "What the hell?" They would be like, "You're crazy! This is illegal! You can't just throw your garbage on the floor."
Yeah, but you're not. That's not what they were doing. It was a balloon launch. This guy doesn't get it.
I want to imagine.
I'm so negative.
I want to imagine in Cleveland Balloon Fest, there's just one guy in charge, and someone's like, "Hey, Mike, why, don't you realize it's gonna litter everywhere?" And he's just like, "Get the F out of here!
Why you being so negative, bro?"
Nancy.
When asked, does he have any concerns about his artistic endeavors' effect on the environment? Quote, none whatsoever. Once the balloons are launched, they'll either go out to the ocean or the desert.
That's what you said.
I'm certain they'll never be seen again.
Yeah. They won't.
Once he launches, just like, well, see you later.
But he's not wrong.
Out of sight, out of mind.
He's talking about him. He's like, as they go away, I will not.
He's like, my job is done.
Yeah.
I organize this.
I agree with all of them.
Yeah, I do like there was a time where the ocean or desert was considered no man's land.
Right.
It's the world's dump. Like, we'll just put any toxic waste we want. Like, just throw it in the ocean. It'll never be seen again.
I'll never forget. I had a friend of mine that had passed away that we went to a wake thing, and they were going to release balloons.
Yeah.
For this particular person, which I wasn't too keen on because it was sort of recent. It was like in the last 20 years, right?
Yeah. You're just releasing litter.
And they're releasing balloons, but they released their balloons, but all their balloons went straight up into a tree. Every single one of them. At this park, because we're all at a park, and I was kind of like, yep, that's what happens.
Yeah. It's like you're on the cliff or the boat or whatever. You're throwing someone's ashes into the ocean, and then just the wind blows them back into everybody's faces. It's like, ugh, you should have thought this out.
I do appreciate when it's like, oh, I want my ashes spread out, or like at a baseball stadium. So someone like ends up dumping it like in the toilet of a baseball stadium, and then it clogs like all the pipes and like completely ruins the plumbing.
But also that it's gonna flush the water out to the ocean. Like you need to dump it somewhere that it'll stay.
Oh, that's great. Well done. That's a Kenny. That's a good one. You need to bring us more disaster stories.
You got it.
That makes me think that my mom has told me for years she wants her ashes dumped at Toys R Us, which does not exist anymore.
Michael Jackson wanted that too.
Well, no. Okay, so Toys R Us is now
a Hobby Lobby where the old Toys R Us just dump them there.
No, the Toys R Us is now like inside of Macy's. So like during Christmas time, you'll have like a Toys R Us section. So I imagine you going inside of a Macy's.
Yeah,
just put them in the toys.
Yeah. I want a Viking funeral where they put me in a wooden casket,
can I shoot
me out to sea, and then flaming arrow like 100 yards away.
Where do you want the arrow to land, though? I want
on the casket, and then I want to just like set out to sea.
Tom and I've
burst
talked about
into flames.
This never works out. You got to make sure that thing's doused good, because what'll happen is you'll burn a little bit until you hit the water, and then the rest of your unburned body will just float down the river.
It'll wash ashore, and you'll be half burnt and then
You don't want
some
that.
like
then
two
your-
kids fishing. Like, in the backyard
but then
will
your
find
white
it.
naked ass is exposed because that thing gets burned.
And there's
Only
two
the
kids
top
that are
burned.
fishing. They're poking your white naked ass. You're dead, but they're poking your ass with a stick. They're like, he's bloated. Poke his ass.
I want to imagine like you get an unskilled archer and they're just there for like 30 minutes trying to like launch these flaming arrows, just missing.
Just get cremated like everybody else, or you just get on the ground.
Anything else, Kenny, you got?
TwoMoose.com, TOOMOOFS. We tasted the Pepsi Peeps collaboration. It was okay.
Did it taste like Pepsi?
It tasted, okay, so you know how Peeps have that crystallized sugar on the outside?
Yeah.
Yes.
It tasted more so like the crystallized sugar than it did the marshmallows. So it was like you took Pepsi and then you ate a handful of like crystal rock sugar.
Yeah.
Is it grainy or no? It just tastes like it.
But okay, well, it made it flat. Like it made it taste like it wasn't carbonated at all, which was very odd.
Yeah, they've lost their minds with the new flavors. The only one
they're like the new Oreo, where it's like they just do weird flavors.
The
just
only
to do
ones
it.
that always get it right to me, and it's just me, I'm a fan, is Diet Mountain Dew. Like the Mountain Dew flavors are always pretty darn good.
Well, so going back to the Oreos, I will. This is a hill I'll die on. Double stuffed Oreo is the limit. Any more stuffing in the Oreo is too much.
I've had a mega stuff.
It's
cream?
too much cream to cookie ratio because you see the ones that are like the gargantuan
Mega cream.
Yeah, mega stuff. And then when you bite into them, the cookies, they slide. They're not. It's the
like too much cream.
Yeah, the integrity of the cookie is all off. The ratio is whack.
Do they still dye like is it the Chicago River green for St. Patrick's Day? Do they still do that promotion?
Yeah, they still do. Which is weird because it dumps out into Lake Michigan.
Yeah,
so it's always weird that it just like dilutes Lake in there.
Do you see it like running into there and then
and it just fizzles. Now, according to them, it's like a vegetable based dye, so it's totally fine, doesn't like affect anyone.
That's what I say. No one really has to say something.
Yeah. This is exactly what the balloon guy did, by the way. He's like, I think it's gonna be fine.
It's natural latex. It'll dissolve.
Natural latex, sure.
Like they have. Okay, so if you do, I wanted to bring those water balloons on this past camping trip to do the water balloon slingshot again, like we used to do.
Your wife said no dogs, no water balloons.
Well, she brings up the fact
bring my Bible.
She's like, you're throwing these water balloons, and then the little piece of rubber is just sitting out there.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm pretty sure nowadays they make them all biodegradable.
I don't think they do.
And then she's like, yeah, that's what she said. And then I was like, yeah, probably right.
But you know what would be
forever?
helpful is if they didn't make the balloons like all these bright colors, like clown colors. If they make them
green.
brown and green like grass and land, and then that way we can't see them.
So one of the modern Marvel inventions is the squid little water balloon fill, where you like fill one tube and it and it fills like 50 balloons at
you
once.
Used to be addicted to these, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I still buy them. My mom still buys them heavy, but until I started looking at all the trash, it like the plastic squid thing, all the balloons,
you can't do anything with it.
Well, it's just like I'm creating a lot of just plastic trash that I'm just dumping into the landfill. It's kind of gross. All for my kids. So.
Oh my god! Cancer is getting him a little.
Not to be that entertained by it. Like they're like they're not like yes. They're like we threw the balloons. All right,
and then I'm picking for you. We threw them just because we knew you liked it.
Well, you could always give them to the NFL, and they can always do water balloon toss for the Pro Bowl.
You making fun of that? You gonna make fun? You poking fun?
Of all the things, there has to be something more entertaining than that. Stupid.
I thought it'd be cool to see them lift weights or something.
And they all don't want to get if they do that and get them hurt, they're going to be sued. Their agents
I would have
sue them.
Rather seen them toss eggs than water balloons because I think that would have been funnier just to like have eggs smashing on like Pro Bowl players.
A lot of them don't like being clowned. Culturally, those guys not the best sense of humor. Some are great, but some guys they don't like to be clowned.
Yeah.
Don't get egg on me, bro. Seriously, I know guys that like literally will kill you if you got egg on them.
Well, you grew up harder than we did. They're not jokey. They're like, I saw murder.
I saw my uncle kill my mom. So you got egg on my jeans, and these are expensive. So I am going to kill you now.
Some of my favorite YouTube rabbit holes are when you try to prank like this hard ass dude, and like you'll try to jump scare him, and he just turns around and punches you right in the face.
One of the only ones that I've seen lately that I thought was real was when the dude comes up on the gang guy and he's throwing gang signs. It may be still fake, but then the gang guy like gets on him and takes his shirt off and you're standing over him like he's going to start throwing down, and it wasn't as fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh,
it took a tragic turn.
This isn't pranky.
Have you seen like the TikTok videos?
I don't watch TikTok. You have to tell me about them.
I'm just going to start saying internet videos because like
just say videos.
Crystal erased TikTok. She's like, it's too addicting.
Took your TikTok, bro?
No, not mine.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm still addicted. But Crystal,
I'm with her.
She's like, I'm erasing TikTok. Too addictive. And then she watches Instagram reels and then sends them to me. All like, this is the exact same thing.
It's just 3 days late.
And I'm like,
it's grandma TikTok.
I'm seeing these Instagram reels on TikTok. It's the same videos. Like, and then you're scrolling that. What the hell's the difference?
Same thing with YouTube Shorts. It's the exact same.
Yeah. It's all it is just tiny internet videos, and you scroll to the next one. It's
I
the
like
same
that voice that people are like, watch me go to Disneyland.
I
like all those voices.
I appreciate the robot voice more so than the over-modulated. It's like, look at her.
I like the ones that go like, watch me brush my teeth with baking soda. I love those voices. I'm like, let me watch.
What is it?
I don't know. It's like the voiceover thing. You type it in.
Yeah.
You should do one.
AI is getting
riding
so much
the
better.
one wheel with my boys.
I've been trying to think of, because I have a TikTok account, but I just use it to look at videos.
You got to get yourself a shower cap.
Yeah.
You're going to wear that. You're going to come in as your grandma.
Oh, okay. Like, I was going to go that route. I like where I'm just reacting funny to video.
Oh, the split in the middle.
Just a reaction video.
Well, no, not a reaction video, but like I'm pretending like I'm there. And then I'm like, whoa.
Okay, all right, that was good.
What is that? And then I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then they just splice. So it's like I'm like holding a beer. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that's really good. That's okay. I would watch that.
And they just put it out.
Try one of these. And then, like, try one of these where you kind of turn and then you look and you go.
Yeah. That seems pretty easy. Way easier than what the hell we're doing now. I gotta talk to Kenny about something, fill 40 minutes.
I mean, when we do this, I have to have full-blown conversations. These nerds on TikTok are literally, they have millions of people following. The dude's got a shower cap on.
I'm sure it's already been done because everything's already been done, but I want reaction to reaction videos.
There's already guys doing that. And there's always the new one that I was like, I'll do a non-reaction. I'll just put a picture of myself as the reaction where I'm just stone-faced the entire time, and the people are already doing that. Everything's already been done.
You should do it where it's non-reaction, but you're not even watching. Like the half the video is
or
just
the back of my head.
Yeah, like half the video is just you typing away on a computer while a video is playing.
And then I get back to it. I'm like, wait, play it again. And that's the whole video. That's not bad. Not bad.
Can you talk to your drone friends and ask them to produce more videos of flying drones over homeless camps and
yes, those are great.
Getting them mad and then having them
throw I love it when a homeless man has to throw his prized possession, which happens to be a pillowcase. At a drone. It's so sad.
And people keep putting that one where it looks like Big Tim, and they're like, look at this, Big Tim. This is insulting to Big Tim right there. Like,
also, if I see one more meme of like a redneck throwing a beer bottle at a drone that people say is the Chinese balloon over Mississippi, I'm going to blow my brains out.
Oh, they insert state here. It's like, over Missouri, over Tennessee, over Florida.
A lot of over Floridas.
Do people get outraged about those drone videos with the homeless people? Like, they're like, leave them alone.
It's supposed to be nice to homeless people now, from what I'm being told.
Well, it's not really a mean thing.
It's annoying. You're trying to sleep off a hangover.
Leave them alone.
But it's also, if like they get it with the bottle, like imagine how excited they'll be.
Imagine how
it's a game.
I have a feeling that all of these bums would be pro the drones if they saw that one drone porno that was made. Where the dildo's on the drone. There's only one. There's only one.
They're burned hot.
There's others out there, but there's really only one. If you know, you know.
What was the name of that video we were going to do? And then we never did.
The boner droner.
The boner droner.
The boner droner.
The bone droner.
The bone drone.
Bone drone.
The bone drone.
Yeah.
Flying the bone drone.
That never happened.
Yeah.
I'll find one of my 19-year-old nerds and I'll have them do it.
All right. That's what I want.
Oh my God. Although he's got a team of boys. I'll get my team of boys on it. All right.
Why does every segment end up with me and like pedophilia? Like
I don't know. We're asking ourselves when you leave.
I'm just following the script. The NFL.
Because last time we talked about Chris Collinsworth and having like teenagers.
Mississippi. It says Pedophile Thursdays with Kitty.
It's Friday.
Oh, no.
St. Patrick's
Oh,
Day.
my God.
All right, Kitty.
St. Mattress Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
2 moves. Sounds pretty gay. I don't know. Bye-bye.